So, Bleacher Report's giving us more content, ranking every NBA starting lineup after LeBron signed with the 76ers. I think this will be a good opportunity for us to get a refresher on some of these lineups and be curious to see what Bleacher Report has to say. They can be on some BS sometimes. Good for people like me. 30, they got the Bucks. I think I already disagree. Who do they got at 29? The Nets? Yeah. I think the Nets are worse starting five wise. Ryan Rollins, Tyler Hero. Yeah. Versus Michael Brown, Jaeger Demon, Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle. It's really like pick your poison. Do you prefer like Tyler Hero or Julius Randle? Do you want like Michael Brown Jr. and Jaeger Demon or like Ryan Rollins, Jaime Jaquez? I could see the argument here. If you're expecting a jump for Jaeger Demon, you expect the Michael Brown Jr. to be pretty good. Michael Porter Jr. was pretty good last year. You probably are thinking you're getting more out of those guys than you are from like these guys. So like I see it. I still think the Nets are a worse starting five. Next up, we got the Kings. Yeah, the Kings are ugly because these players aren't bad. They just kind of suck together. You know what I mean? Grizzlies, Ty Jerome, Jalen Willis, Cedric Howard, Cam Boozer, Zach Edey. That's interesting because sheer talent-wise, not as good as this team, not as good as either of those teams, right? But this team probably will be better. But I think as a team, so does that make them a better starting five? I may disagree there. I think as a team, they will be better. But as a starting five, I don't know if they would be a better like plus minus and that all that crap. Bulls at 26. Giddy, Powell, Buzelis, Wilson, Nick Claxton. I like that starting five. Not great, but you know, it should be a fun starting five. What was ahead of them? Hornets. Post LaMelo Ball trade and Miles Bridges trade, I think I would have the Bulls ahead of them in terms of starting five. Yeah, one of the most dominant high usage lineups. 5-man unit. Yeah. Read. Yeah, it's just okay. They're expecting a jump from like those two. Kobe White. Okay. Clippers, Darius Garland, Chris Dunn, Brandon Ingram, Rui Hachimura, Brook Lopez. I might take both of these lineups over that one. I don't love Brandon Ingram in that situation. And Darius Garland's like Darius Garland. I don't know. Mavericks, Kyrie, Max Christie, Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag and Kyrie are doing a lot of lifting in this lineup. They're doing a lot of lifting, but they're still pretty low. So we'll let it slide. Yeah, Lively coming back from foot injury. Okay. Wizards. This is kind of low for that Wizards starting five, I will say. Trae Young, Kayshawn, AJ, Anthony Davis, Alex Sarr. Wizards starting five looks like a real NBA team. 14 All-Star trip. Star should be safe at center. Yeah, I'll be curious to see who they got ahead of this starting five. I think starting five wise, the Wizards are pretty nasty. Pelicans, yeah, like this Pelican starting five is not better than that Wizards starting five. We know what Zion is at this point. We know what to expect from someone like Trey Murphy. DeJounte's a little bit more of a question mark, but we know what you're getting from Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Derek Queen. Like, they're not better than Trae Young, Anthony Davis, Kayshawn George, Alex Sarr. We don't even know what we're getting for AJ DeBonce yet, but they're not better than those five, man. Same with the Suns team. It's Devin Booker, Jalen Green, and they were a good team, right? They were a pretty good team. They surprised some people, and they added Miles Bridges. I don't know if that's a plus or a negative. And Devin Booker played his heart out in that playoff series. Didn't do anything, but he played his heart out. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'd still have the Wizards ahead of this. Warriors, yeah. Again, this Warriors starting five is not good, dude. They did just get Draymond back, but the starting five is not good. I don't even know if Yaxel's going to start. He should start. He might not start. If Butler's back, that changes a little bit, but that's not better than that Wizards team. Magic have a good starting five, I will say. I think they don't perform as highly. This is a crisp looking picture, but it's all the blue. Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane, Franz, Paolo, Wendell. Any big roster shakeups yet are pretty much the same team. But yeah, their starting five is good, and they're going to defend. Trailblazers. This team is kind of nasty looking. They should be good. They're kind of nasty looking though. They're kind of nasty looking. Yeah. Adding Ja and Dame into this equation down here is weird. It's weird. Lakers, Luka, Austin Reeves, Quentin Grimes, Mamu Shvili. Mamu Blafili. All right, Walker Kessler. This is very heavily carried by Luka. Very heavily carried by Luka. I don't think Trailblazers should be this high. That's very heavy. I'm not mad at it. They're right in the pack middle because of Luka. Utah Jazz, Deontay George, Darren Peterson, Laurie Markkinen, Jaren Jackson, Yusuf Nurkic. I think this is pretty high for this starting five. Because if this starting five is as good as this, they should be a playoff team because their bench isn't bad either. They got some nice players off the bench. I don't think this starting five should be that high at all. They're good. They're going to be solid. They're not better than some of those teams we just talked about. They're not better starting five than the Lakers just because of Luka. They're not a better starting five than the Wizards. I don't even know if they're a better starting five than that Pelicans team with DeJounte, and be honest with you. Heat, Davion Mitchell, Tim Hardaway. I have this higher. Defensively, they're going to lock stuff up, and then Tim Hardaway Jr. is just going to have to shoot a lot. I like this starting five, though. I have question marks about the bench. Arguably the best big man combo, yeah. Wiggins, Hardaway, but he's going to be the worst player in the starting lineup, but you just need him to shoot. And Mitchell was pretty good in playing and stuff like that. I'll be curious to see who they have ahead of them. Detroit is a pretty good starting five. They're in, yeah. That makes sense. Timberwolves, LaMelo. They're saying Ayo at the 3. Oof. I mean, why wouldn't you just run Ant at the 3 at that point? But yeah, they do have kind of a hole right now. That small forward, though, decides to play to share small forward in the past for guard heavies. Wolves will need a real power forward. That's true. Yeah, there's a hole at that power forward. So you really want McDaniels at the 3. That starting five is nasty if Ayo started at the 3. Nasty. Celtics, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Paul George, Tatum, Mitch Robinson. On paper, doesn't look bad. You just got to recognize what year it actually is of Paul George you're getting. Their starting five is good. I don't know if I'd have it ahead of like this starting five. I think that's undervaluing how good like Cade was last year and how good Jalen Duren was before the playoffs. And even undervaluing, I think, the value of like Giannis and Bam a bit to have like this Celtics team ahead of them. But we'll see. Maybe because even like Mitchell Robinson, it's like, how effective is he going to be playing like big minutes? And he's going to have to play big minutes on that team. This isn't going to be a team where he's just backing up and able to play like 20 minutes a night. Raptors, the start five is delicious. Quickly, I don't love Quickly, but RJ, Kawhi, Scotty, Jakob Poeltl, all pretty good players that just play in a way that's pretty conducive to winning. Adding Kawhi in there is going to help you on both sides. Good starting five. Yeah, these are like more of like hot cold type of guys. We'll see how effective they are throughout the season, but they could be a little wishy-washy for sure. We'll see how they play. Rockets, adding back Fred VanVleet is huge for this Rockets team, and huge in bolstering the starting five. They did not have a guy that really knew how to handle and play make and set up for them. So yeah, I like them a lot better now. Fred VanVleet's getting back to where he was. But yeah, this is a good start five. Yeah, if he plays like pre-ACL, yeah, exactly. Need to prove he's healthy and be out Marcus Smart. I would hope Marcus Smart isn't starting. He doesn't really help them where they need it in the starting lineup. Not a bad pickup though. The Hawks at 8. Wow. That's pretty surprising. TJ, Nikhil. I guess their starting five did play very good. It was more so their bench. Yeah, this is one of the sneaky best start five. Richardson net +4, 90th percentile, 427 or younger. And they're kind of projecting that these guys will still be improving because they're all pretty young. I get it. Talent-wise, there definitely still is a gap, I believe. They did play very well together, I will say. But I still think there's a talent gap that will be hard to bridge compared to some of these other teams. Cavs, yeah, their starting five is always really good. How good are they actually going to play? That's up for debate. But yeah, starting five wise, they're really good. Their worst player is Max Strus, who just has to come out there and shoot. But then you got 4 other guys that could really be an all-star. So yeah, 4 starters who have made all-star teams. Small forward remains a question mark. Spurs at 6. That's interesting considering how good they were last year, and I feel like a big part of it was their starting 5. Yeah, if Dylan Harper doesn't get the start next year, yeah, they probably are lower. They probably are lower for sure. Clearly, Dylan Harper and Cass should be starting. They were in the backcourt. Harper wastes his pleasure. Yeah, if Harper isn't starting, I could agree here. I think you either I don't know. One of these guys could probably go, but yeah, I'm not sure. They all provide pretty good value. Nuggets. They're saying Nuggets start 5 better than the Spurs. Jokic is carrying this hard. I mean, starting 5 wise, they're not terrible. It really is that bench. Yeah, it's same starting 5. Same starting 5. They're good. We know they're good. It's really Jokic though, and Aaron Gordon, damn near. Jamal Murray sometimes. They're having the Pacers at 4. We haven't even seen this Pacers team with Halliburton and Zubac on the floor together. 80% of the starting. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We just don't know what Halliburton's going to be, but this is pretty damn high. This is pretty high. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I'd have him this high. Yeah. I don't know if I'd have him higher than like, yeah, Nuggets, Spurs. I don't know. Can't get jiggy with that. Starting 5 wise, Knicks. Yeah, they're crazy. Brunson, Hart, McHale, OG, Cat. Yeah, we know who they're going to be starting. Good ass starting 5, no doubt. OKC. So that means Philly's going to be 1. I guess I should have expected that. But Shea, Case and Wallace, they're saying going to get the start probably. J-Dub, Chet, Isaiah Hartenstein. Yeah, and I could see the Thunder being a team that rolls out a lot of different starting 5s, but this makes sense to me. This is what I would do if I was a coach. I'm not a coach, but this is what I would do, having Chet at the 4, Isaiah Hartenstein, since we now got 2 bigs off the bench, and Thomas Robert and Adai Mara. But yeah, of course, great start 5. And then Philly, Maxey, Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron, and Joel if he's healthy. There should be an asterisk next there. But that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, just straight firepower. Completely unmatched. They're cooking there. Like, what is the one that I think this wasn't terrible? Pacers are kind of high for me. Perhaps it might be a little low. I don't mind the Hawks at 8. That's cool. Celtics, Timberwolves. There's somebody up here. The Heat are kind of low to me. I could see this Heat starting 5 being a lot better than 14th in the league. Like, if they were to get like the numbers and just like the stats of it, I think they'll end up better than 14th in the league for sure. Jazz are pretty high in my opinion. I don't think that Jazz 5 is going to be that good. But yeah, this wasn't a bad article. We might have to react to some more stuff like this. This was cool. Being able to read this with you guys. I don't got much else to say. Not a bad article. Who wrote this? Greg. Shout out to Greg. Did a decent job. Good job, Greg. We're going to do our own little rankings stuff. Maybe not starting 5s, but we'll definitely get into some power rankings soon for sure, and some positional rankings. I'll definitely be curious to see some other people's stuff. Leave a like, subscribe,